"Get your filthy hands off my gate," the girl screamed, her face twisted in disgust. She didn't just yell, she grabbed a bucket of dirty soapy water and splashed it right into my chest. The cold, grey water soaked my mechanic suit. It dripped down my face, tasting like soap and shame. "I just wanted to ask if," I started, wiping my eyes. "If what?" she laughed, looking at her friends. "If I want to date a plumber? Look at you, you smell like a broken toilet. My shoes cost more than your entire life. Security, throw this gutter rat out before he infects the air." Two massive guards in black uniforms stepped forward. They didn't ask questions. One grabbed my collar, choking me. The other raised a baton. "Don't make me break your legs," the guard growled. "Run." I didn't fight back. I couldn't, not if I wanted to keep my secret. I turned around, water squishing in my cheap boots, and walked away while they laughed behind me. I walked until the noise of the mansion faded away. The Lagos sun was hot, baking the dirty water into my clothes. I felt sticky and gross. My heart was beating fast, not from fear, but from anger. I ducked into a quiet alleyway behind a row of shops. I looked left, I looked right, no one was watching. I reached into the deep, hidden pocket of my dirty overalls and pulled out a phone. It wasn't a Techno or a cracked Android. It was a custom-made iPhone with a diamond-encrusted case, worth more than that girl's entire car. I had 3 missed calls. "Mom, Dad, bank manager." I silenced the phone and shoved it back down. "My name is Dayo Adelek. My father owns half the oil rigs in the Delta. My mother owns the biggest textile factories in West Africa. I grew up in London and New York. I have a degree from Oxford. I don't fix toilets for a living. I can buy the company that makes the toilets." But nobody in Nigeria knew that. To them, I was just Dayo the plumber, a nobody, a servant. I leaned against the rough wall and closed my eyes. This was the stupidest idea I ever had, but I couldn't stop now. Back in London, it was easy. Women threw themselves at me. They loved my last name. They loved the private jets. They loved the black card, but they didn't love me. They didn't know my favorite color or what I feared at night. They only knew the balance in my bank account. I wanted what my grandmother told me about, true African love, the kind that sticks through hunger and plenty, the kind I saw in old Nollywood movies. So I made a plan. I told my parents I was going on a 3-month business trip to Rwanda to inspect some coffee farms. I lied. Instead, I flew to Lagos, rented a small, smelly apartment on the mainland, and took a 2-week crash course in plumbing. I wanted to find a wife, a girl who would love a plumber with grease under his fingernails, a girl who would say yes to a man with nothing. "One down," I whispered to myself, thinking of the girl with the bucket of water. 3 to go. I adjusted my heavy tool bag on my shoulder. It dug into my skin. Real plumbers have hard lives. My back ached. I wasn't used to physical labor. I was used to gym sessions with a personal trainer, not carrying iron pipes under the scorching sun. I checked my list. The next job was in Lekki Phase 1, another rich house, another chance. I hailed a yellow Danfo bus. The conductor looked at my wet clothes and wrinkled his nose. "Money for front," he shouted. I paid with crumpled Naira notes. I had to stay in character. When I got to the next address, the house was huge. White pillars, gold gates, and a fountain in the middle. I pressed the buzzer. "Plumber here to fix the kitchen sink," I said into the intercom. The gate slid open. I walked to the main door. A young woman opened it. She was stunning. She wore a long silk robe and her hair was tied up in a perfect bun. She looked like a queen. This was Tola. My research told me she was the daughter of a banking CEO. "You're late," she said. Her voice was cold. She didn't look at my face. She looked at the floor. "Sorry, madam, traffic," I said, looking down. "Where is the sink?" She pointed a manicured finger toward the kitchen without speaking. I went in. The clog was simple, just some food stuck in the U-bend. I knelt on the expensive tiles. I took out my wrench. I actually knew what I was doing now. I fixed it in 10 minutes. When I stood up, she was leaning against the counter, texting on her phone. She looked bored. "It is done, madam," I said. "I washed my hands at the sink I just fixed." She didn't look up. "Invoice is on the table. Take your money and go." I didn't move. I took a deep breath. This was the moment. "Madam," I said softly, "you have a beautiful home." She finally looked at me, her eyes narrowed. "Excuse me." I said, "The home is beautiful, but not as beautiful as you." The room went silent. The only sound was the hum of the giant refrigerator. Tola put her phone down slowly. She looked at me like I was a cockroach that had just started speaking English. "Are you toasting me?" she asked. Her voice was dangerously quiet. "I am a hard worker," I said, trying to sound confident but humble. "I make an honest living. I know I am just a plumber, but I have a good heart. I saw you and I felt something. Maybe we could go for a drink at a local baker, just talk." Tola stared at me for 5 seconds. Then she threw her head back and laughed. It was a cruel, loud cackle. "Bucker," she shouted, "you want to take me to eat a mala with your dirty hands?" She walked up to me. She was close enough that I could smell her expensive perfume. "Let me tell you something, Mr. Plumber. Do you see this skin? It requires creams that cost more than your yearly salary. Do you see this hair? It is human hair from Brazil. You cannot afford to look at me, let alone date me." "Money isn't everything," I said. "Love is about respect." "Love is for people who can afford it," she yelled. "You think because you are handsome you can jump classes? You are a servant, know your place." She grabbed a spray bottle of air freshener from the counter. She pointed it at me and sprayed a cloud of lavender mist right in my face. "You smell like poverty," she sneered. "Get out before I call the police and tell them you stole my jewelry." The threat hit me hard. In Nigeria, if a rich person accuses a poor man of theft, the police don't ask for proof. They just beat you. "I am going," I said, holding my breath to avoid the stinging mist. I walked out of the white mansion. The sun was setting now, turning the Lagos sky a bruised purple. 2 rejections, both brutal, both based entirely on my clothes and my job. My heart felt heavy, not because they said no, but because they were so cruel about it. Was this really how the world worked? Was my money the only reason anyone ever treated me with kindness? I needed to try a different approach. The rich girls were too proud. They were spoiled. I needed someone humble, someone who knew the value of hard work. I looked at my notebook. The next target was different. Her name was Chidinma. She wasn't a billionaire's daughter. She lived in a middle-class estate in Surula. Her father was a retired teacher. She worked as a nurse. Surely, a nurse would have compassion. A nurse would care about the human, not the wallet. I felt a spark of hope. If you believe everyone deserves respect no matter their job, tap the like button now. The next day, I didn't go to the island. I went to the mainland. The streets were tighter here. The noise was louder. I found Chidinma's house. It was a simple block of flats. The paint was peeling a little, and the generator noise was loud. I was there to fix a leaking pipe in the compound that was flooding the entrance. The landlord had hired me. I saw Chidinma walking in from her shift. She looked tired. She wore blue scrubs. She was beautiful in a natural, simple way. She carried a heavy bag of groceries. "Good afternoon, sister," I said, rushing to help her. "Let me carry that for you." She looked at me, surprised. She saw the wrench in my pocket. "Thank you," she said. Her voice was soft. This was it. This was the difference. I carried the bag to her door on the 2nd floor. "I am Dayo," I said, wiping sweat from my forehead. "I am the plumber fixing the pipe downstairs." "Thank you, Dayo. I am Chidinma," she smiled. It was a nice smile. "You look tired," I said. "Nursing is hard work. You save lives." "It is trying," she sighed, "but we push on." "I admire that," I said. "I work hard too. I am trying to build my own plumbing company one day. Start small, dream big." Her smile faded slightly. She looked at my boots. "That is good," she said, but her tone changed. She looked anxious. Chidinma, I said, taking a risk. I know we just met, but you seem like a woman of substance. I am looking for a serious relationship. I don't have a car yet, but I have a vision. Would you allow me to visit you properly? Maybe next Sunday. The air in the hallway changed. Chidinma looked around to see if her neighbors were watching. Dayo, she whispered, stepping closer so no one would hear. Look at you. What? I asked. My father is a teacher, she hissed. He spent his life savings to send me to nursing school. Do you know why? To help people. To elevate the family, she snapped. She looked angry now. I am 26. I need a husband who is a doctor or an engineer or a banker, someone who can take me out of this block of flats, not keep me here. But I am honest, I pleaded. I treat women like queens. Queens don't live on a plumber's budget, she said coldly. If I bring you home, my mother will weep. My friends will laugh at me. I cannot date a hand-to-mouth man. I am sorry, but please, don't talk to me again. It looks bad for my image. She snatched her grocery bag from my hand and slammed the door in my face. The sound echoed in the empty hallway. I stood there for a long time. This one hurt the most. She wasn't rich. She knew the struggle, but she was running from poverty so fast that she couldn't see the man standing in front of her. She was scared of being poor again. I walked down the stairs, my legs feeling like lead. 3 women, 3 humiliations. I walked out of the compound and sat on the curb. I put my head in my dirty hands. I was done. This experiment was a failure. There was no true love. There was only transactions. People only loved what you could give them. My phone vibrated in my pocket. I ignored it. I didn't want to be a billionaire right now. I just wanted to be a human being that someone respected. I stood up feeling dizzy. I hadn't eaten all day. The heat was getting to me. I started walking down the busy road, not looking where I was going, my vision blurred. I stumbled, my boot caught on a broken piece of pavement. I fell hard onto the dusty ground, my tool bag spilled open, wrenches and pipes scattered everywhere. Passers-by just walked around me, some stepped over my legs, no one stopped. Just a drunk plumber, I heard someone mutter. I tried to push myself up, but my arms were shaking. Then a shadow fell over me. A shiny black SUV had pulled up to the curb. The door opened. I expected a guard to come out and tell me to move. I expected to be yelled at again. Instead, I saw a pair of simple flat shoes step onto the dust. Sir, a gentle voice called out. Sir, are you okay? I looked up. Standing there, shielding her eyes from the sun, was a woman. She wasn't looking at my dirt. She was looking at my eyes. She reached out a hand. Her palm was open. Here, she said, let me help you up. I froze. She was dressed simply, but she carried herself with power. I didn't know it yet, but this moment was about to change everything. And it was going to be the most dangerous thing I had done yet. I looked at the hand. Her skin was smooth, darker than caramel, and her fingernails were short and clean. No fake acrylics, no diamonds, just a simple hand offering help. I hesitated. My palm was covered in gray dust and oil. Madam, a deep voice boomed from the SUV. Leave him, he is dirty. A massive Mobile police officer stepped out. He held an AK-47 across his chest. His beret was pulled low over his eyes. He looked at me like I was a threat to national security. Musa, stay back, the woman said. Her voice was firm. It wasn't a request, it was an order. She looked back at me. Take my hand, sir. The ground is too hot to sit on. I reached out. My dirty hand gripped her clean one. She didn't flinch. She didn't pull away when the grease stained her palm. She pulled with surprising strength, helping me to my feet. I stood there swaying slightly. My head was spinning from hunger and the heat. I dusted off my knees, keeping my head bowed. This was the African way. You do not look a big person in the eye when you are a nobody. Thank you, Ma, I mumbled. I am sorry for the trouble. You are not trouble, she said. She looked at my scattered tools on the road. Musa, help him gather his things. The police officer grunted. He clearly hated this. He used the tip of his boot to kick a wrench toward me. I quickly bent down, scrambling to pick up my pipes and screwdrivers. I felt small, but the woman stood there, waiting until I had every single screw back in my bag. "Where are you going?" she asked. "Just to the bus stop, Ma," I just sighed. She checked her wristwatch. It was a simple leather watch, not a gold Rolex. "That is far. You look like you are about to faint. Get in." She pointed to the open door of the black SUV. My heart stopped me in there. "Ma, I cannot," I said, pointing to my clothes. "I am filthy. I will stain the car." "Cars can be cleaned," she said simply. "People are harder to fix. Get in." She didn't wait for an argument. She climbed into the back seat. I looked at Musa the guard. He glared at me, his finger near the trigger of his gun. "If you try anything," Musa whispered, leaning close to my ear, "I will end you." I swallowed hard and climbed into the back seat. The door closed with a heavy thud. The silence was instant. The chaos of the Lagos street disappeared. The air conditioning was ice cold. The seats were soft leather that smelled like vanilla. I sat on the very edge of the seat, trying not to let my back touch the expensive material. "Relax," the woman said. She was typing on a tablet. "What is your name?" "Dayo, Ma." "I am Amara," she said. She didn't say Senator Amara or Dr. Amara, just Amara. I knew who she was, though. I had seen her face on the news. Amara Oak. She was one of the few politicians people actually liked. She fought for clean water projects and school funding. She was powerful, and here she was, sitting next to a fake plumber. "You are a plumber?" she asked, looking at my bag. "Yes, Ma, struggling, but trying." She put the tablet down and looked at me. Her eyes were tired, not the bored tiredness of the rich girls I met earlier, but a heavy, deep exhaustion, the kind you get from carrying the world on your shoulders. "It is honest work," she said softly. "My grandfather was a carpenter. He built half the roofs in his village. There is dignity in working with your hands." I stayed silent. I felt a lump in my throat. The other girls had called me a rat. She compared me to her grandfather. The car glided through the traffic. The police siren wailed ahead of us, clearing the road. For the first time in weeks, I felt safe. When we reached the bus stop near my fake apartment, the car stopped. "Thank you, Ma," I said, reaching for the door handle. "Wait." She reached into her purse. She pulled out a small bundle of crisp Naira notes. It was a lot, maybe 50,000 Naira. "Take this," she said. "Buy food, rest for a few days." "Ma, I cannot." "Take it," she insisted, pressing it into my dirty hand. "And take this card. My washing machine at home has been making a terrible noise. My house manager keeps calling expensive companies, but they never fix it right. Maybe you can try." I took the card. It was thick and white. Senator Amara Oak. "I will do a good job, Ma," I promised. "I won't let you down." "I believe you, Dayo. Go well." I stepped out into the heat. The door closed, and the convoy sped away. I stood in the dust, holding the money and the card. For the first time since I started this crazy plan, I felt something real. If you think kindness is more valuable than money, tap the like button. 3 days later, I was standing in front of a massive gate in Maitama. This wasn't just a house, it was a fortress. The walls were 12 feet high, topped with electric razor wire. Cameras were everywhere. I pressed the intercom. "Who is it?" a voice barked. "Dayo, the plumber. Senator Amara asked me to come." There was a long silence. Then the heavy metal gate groaned open. I walked up the long driveway. The garden was perfectly manicured. There were 4 luxury cars parked under the canopy. I felt nervous, not because I was poor, but because I was lying to the one person who had been kind to me. The house manager met me at the door. He was a tall man in a suit who looked down his nose at me. "You are the one Madam spoke about," he scoffed. "Wipe your feet, don't touch the walls." He was a tall man in a suit who looked down his nose at me. "You are the one Madam spoke about," he scoffed. "Wipe your feet, don't touch the walls." He led me to the laundry room. It was bigger than my entire apartment in London. The washing machine was a high-tech German model. "It shakes when it spins," the manager said. "Fix it, you have 1 hour, madam is in a meeting." I got to work. It was a simple problem. The drum was off balance because of a broken spring. I had practiced this. I rolled up my sleeves and focused. I liked the work. It stopped me from thinking about my lies. 40 minutes later, I was tightening the last screw. "Is it done?" I jumped. I turned around. Senator Amara was standing in the doorway. She wasn't wearing her formal headgear. She wore a simple house dress. She looked smaller without her entourage. "Yes, Ma," I said, wiping my hands on a rag. "It was just a spring. It runs smooth now." I turned the machine on. It hummed quietly, no shaking. She smiled, a real, genuine smile that reached her eyes. "You have magic hands, Dayo. The last company charged me 200,000 naira and did nothing. They were cheating you, Ma. It is a small job." "Come," she said. "Have you eaten?" "No, Ma, I am okay." "Nonsense. A worker deserves his wages and his food." She turned and walked toward the kitchen. I followed, expecting to be given a plate to eat outside with the guards. But she walked past the kitchen. She walked into the main dining room. A massive crystal chandelier hung from the ceiling. The table was long enough to seat 20 people. "Sit," she pointed to a chair. I froze. "Ma, here." "Sit," she repeated. The house manager rushed in. "Madam, you cannot. He is a workman. He is dirty." Amara turned on him slowly. Her voice was quiet but dangerous. "Chief, is this your house?" "No, madam." "Then set a plate for him and bring the pounded yam." The manager looked at me with pure hatred, but he hurried away. I sat down gingerly on the velvet chair. I felt like an imposter. Amara sat across from me. She poured herself a glass of water. She didn't look at her phone. She looked at me. "Tell me about yourself, Dayo. Who are you really?" My heart slammed against my ribs. Did she know? Did she recognize me? I am just a man trying to find his way, Ma," I stammered. "I want to build a life, a family." "Family is hard," she sighed, tracing the rim of her glass. "People think because I am a senator, I have everything. But look at this house. It is big, it is beautiful, and it is empty." She looked around the silent room. "Everyone wants something from me," she whispered. "Contracts, visas, money. No one asks how I slept. No one asks if I am happy." She looked back at me. Her eyes were wet. "You didn't ask for money when I helped you up, Dayo. You tried to refuse it. That is why you are sitting at my table." The food arrived, steaming bowls of soup and soft pounded yam. We ate in silence for a while. It was the best meal I had eaten in weeks, but I could barely taste it. Guilt was eating me alive. She was opening up to me because she thought I was a simple, honest plumber. If she knew I was a billionaire heir playing a game, she would hate me. She would think I was mocking her loneliness. "Thank you for the food, Ma," I said, standing up. "I should go." "Will you come back?" she asked. "I have a leaky tap in the guest bathroom, and it is nice to talk to someone who listens." I looked at her. She wasn't a senator right now. She was just a woman hopping for a connection. "I will come back," I said, "whenever you need me." I walked out of the house, my head spinning. I had found the kindness I was looking for. I had found the woman, but I had dug myself into a hole so deep I didn't know how to climb out. As I walked out of the heavy gates, my phone vibrated in my hidden pocket. I checked it. It was a text message from my father. "Dayo, change of plans. Your mother and I are landing in Lagos tomorrow. We saw a news report about the senator. We need to meet her for business. Be ready to join us." My blood ran cold. My parents were coming to meet Amara. If I walked into that meeting as Dayo, the billionaire's son, and she recognized me as Dayo, the plumber, everything would be destroyed. I looked back at the mansion. The lights were warm and inviting. I had found true love, and I was about to lose it before it even began. I stared at the text message. until my eyes burned. Mom and Dad, landing tomorrow. My stomach twisted into a hard knot. My father, Chief Adelek, was not a man who made idle threats. If he said he was coming to do business with Senator Amara, he was coming. And if he saw me, his Oxford-educated heir, wearing a dirty jumpsuit and fixing a toilet, he wouldn't just be angry, he would be ashamed. And in my family, shame was worse than death. I tried to call him. Dad, I said when he picked up, you shouldn't come to Lagos. The political climate is unstable. It's not safe. Nonsense, my father's voice boomed over the line. I have security, and I have a meeting scheduled with Senator Oak. We need her signature for the new refinery project. I expect you to be at the hotel to greet us. Wear a suit, Dayo, not those ridiculous casual clothes you like. I can't, Dad. I'm in Rwanda. Remember, the coffee farms. There was a silence on the line, a cold, heavy silence. Then get on a plane, my father said. Be in Lagos by tomorrow night, or don't bother coming home at all. The line went dead. I sat on the thin, lumpy mattress of my fake apartment. The walls felt like they were closing in. I was trapped. If I showed up as Dayo the billionaire, I would have to sit across the table from Amara. She would recognize me instantly. She would see that the humble plumber she trusted was actually a rich boy playing a game. She would think I was laughing at her. But I couldn't leave. I couldn't just disappear because I was falling in love with her. I needed to see her one last time. I needed to tell her the truth before my parents did. I grabbed my tool bag. I didn't have a job scheduled, but I went anyway. When I arrived at her mansion, the mood was different. The guards didn't stop me. They waved me in. I was a regular face now. The senator's favorite handyman, they called me. I found Amara in the back garden. It was a beautiful place, filled with hibiscus flowers and palm trees. She was sitting on a stone bench, looking at a file. She looked stressed. "Madam," I called out softly. She looked up. Her face softened instantly. The tension in her shoulders dropped. "Dayo," she said, "I didn't call you today. Did something break?" "No, Ma," I said, walking closer. I was in the area. I wanted to check the outdoor taps, to be sure." She patted the empty space on the bench next to her. "Sit down. The taps are fine. Talk to me." I sat. The distance between our bodies was small, but the distance between our worlds was an ocean. "You look worried," I said. "I am," she sighed. "Big meetings coming up. Powerful men who want to use me for contracts. They don't care about the people. They only care about profit." My heart hammered. She was talking about my father. "Do you trust them?" I asked. "I don't trust anyone in this city," she said, looking at the sky. "Everyone wears a mask, Dayo. Everyone is pretending to be something they are not. That is why I like you." I froze. "Why me?" "Because you are real," she said, turning to look at me. Her dark eyes were searching mine. "You come here with your dirty hands and your honest face. You don't want my power. You just fix things. You make my life simple." She reached out and took my hand. Her skin was warm. "I feel safe with you," she whispered. "I haven't felt safe in a long time." The guilt hit me like a physical punch. I was the biggest liar of them all. I was wearing the biggest mask. "Amara," I said, using her name without the title for the first time. "I need to tell you something important." She leaned in closer. The air between us was electric. I could smell her jasmine perfume. "What is it?" she asked softly. I am not who you think I am." "I know," she smiled. I blinked. "You know." "Yes, you are not just a plumber. You are a smart, kind man who deserves more. I have been thinking, Dayo. I want to help you start that company you talked about. I want to invest in you." She thought I was confessing my ambition. She didn't know I could buy this entire estate with one phone call. I opened my mouth to correct her, to say, "No, I am a billionaire," but the words stuck in my throat. If I told her now, the magic would break. She would pull her hand away. I was a coward. I wanted one more moment of this peace. If you have ever been afraid to tell the truth to someone you love, Tap the like button. Thank you, I said weakly. You are too good to me. It's not goodness, she said, her voice dropping to a whisper. It's feelings. I have feelings for you, Dayo. The world stopped spinning. The senator, the Queen of Lagos, she had feelings for the plumber. She leaned forward, I leaned forward. For a second, I forgot about my father. I forgot about the oil rigs and the lies. I just saw a woman who needed to be loved. Madam, madam. The house manager came running into the garden, shouting. We pulled apart quickly. My heart was racing. What is it? Amara snapped, standing up. She looked angry at the interruption. Urgent message, Ma, the guests, the VIP guests, they have arrived early. They are at the gate now. Amara looked confused. The meeting wasn't until tomorrow. They insisted, Ma. They said they are flying out to Abuja tonight and must see you now. My blood turned to ice. Who is it? Amara asked. Chief Adelek and his wife, the manager said. I felt the ground sway beneath my feet. My parents, here now. I looked at the high walls. There was no back exit from the garden. The only way out was through the house, past the front door, right where they would be walking in. I have to go, I said, jumping up. I grabbed my tool bag so hard my knuckles turned white. I have to go now. Dayo, wait, Amara said, looking at me with concern. You can stay, it's just a business meeting. Go to the kitchen and eat. We will talk after. No, I shouted, it came out too loud. I mean, no, Ma, I have another job, an emergency, a burst pipe. I started running toward the house. Dayo, she called after me. I didn't look back. I sprinted into the kitchen. Where are you going? The cook asked. Back door, I gasped. Is there a back door? Only for the trash, the cook pointed. I ran to the service door. It was locked. I fumbled with the latch. My hands were shaking. Click. I pushed it open and stumbled out into the side yard where the generators were kept. I heard the sound of a heavy engine. I peeked around the corner of the building. A convoy of 3 G-Wagons had just pulled up to the main entrance. The doors opened. I saw my father step out. He looked massive in his flowing white agbada. He held a walking stick tipped with gold. He looked powerful and terrifying. Then my mother stepped out. She was wearing lace that probably cost 1,000,000 naira. She adjusted her glasses, looking critical of the senator's driveway. I was 20 feet away from them, hiding behind a generator. If I walked to the gate, they would see me. The driveway was wide open. Dayo. I spun around. Amara was standing behind me at the service door. She had followed me. Why are you running? She asked. She looked hurt. Are you afraid of my guests? They are just people. Amara, please, I begged. Let me go. Not until you tell me what is wrong, she said, crossing her arms. You were about to tell me something in the garden, and now you are running like a thief. Do you have a warrant? Are you in trouble with the law? No, it's not that. Then come inside, she commanded. I want you to meet them. Chief Adelek is a very successful man. Maybe he can help you with your business too. I will introduce you. It was a nightmare. She wanted to introduce the plumber to his own father. I cannot meet him, I whispered. Why? Because. Before I could invent a lie, the house manager rounded the corner. Madam, the chief is asking for you. He is in the foyer. Amara looked at me one last time. Wait here, don't move. We are not done. She turned and walked back into the house to greet my parents. I was alone by the loud, humming generator. I had a choice. I could climb the 12-foot wall with the razor wire and probably die, or I could wait and be destroyed. My phone rang. It was my dad. I looked through the window into the foyer. I saw my father standing there, holding his phone to his ear. He looked impatient. Where are you, boy? He left a voicemail. I am at the senator's house. I expect you to walk through that door in 5 minutes. If you embarrass me, Dayo, I swear I will cut you off. You will have nothing. I looked at the phone. I looked at my dirty boots. I had nothing anyway. If I went in there, I lost Amara. If I didn't go in, I lost my family. But then I remembered Amara's eyes in the garden. You are real. I couldn't lose that. I couldn't lose her respect. I made a crazy decision. I wasn't going to run, and I wasn't going to change into a suit. I took a deep breath. I wiped the sweat from my forehead. I put my phone in my pocket. I walked to the main door. The guards tried to stop me. Hey, plumber, use the back. Get out of my way, I said. My voice wasn't the plumber's voice anymore. It was the Oxford voice. It was the billionaire voice. The guard stepped back, confused by the sudden power in my tone. I pushed the heavy oak doors open. The foyer was cool and silent. My parents were standing in the middle of the room, admiring a painting. Amara was standing next to them, smiling politely. The sound of my heavy work boots echoed on the marble floor. Clomp, clomp, clomp. My father turned around. My mother adjusted her glasses. Amara looked up, surprised to see me. Dayo, Amara said, I told you to wait outside. My father's eyes went wide. He looked at my grease-stained jumpsuit. He looked at the wrench in my belt. He looked at my dirty face. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. The great Chief Adelek was speechless. Good evening, I said, my voice echoing in the large hall. I looked at Amara, then I looked at my father. Amara, I said steadily, I would like you to meet my father. The silence that followed was loud enough to break glass. My father looked like he was having a heart attack. His face turned a dark shade of purple. He gripped his gold-tipped walking stick so tight I thought it would snap. Father, Amara repeated. She looked at the chief, then back at me in my dirty overalls. She let out a short, confused laugh. Dayo, stop playing. This is Chief Adelek, the oil tycoon. You are my plumber. I am both, I said. My voice was steady, but my knees were shaking. Dayo, my father roared. His voice echoed off the high ceiling. What is the meaning of this madness? Why are you dressed like a common laborer? Have you lost your mind? My mother stepped forward, sniffing the air. And you smell like grease. Oh, Dayo, we sent you to Oxford, not to the gutter. Amara took a step back. The warmth in her eyes vanished. It was replaced by something cold, something broken. You lied, she whispered. Amara, please listen. I stepped forward. I didn't do it to hurt you. I did it to find someone who would love me for me, not for my money. She looked at my father's expensive agbada. She looked at my mother's diamonds. Then she looked at my dirty hands. So I was a test, she asked. Her voice rose. I was an experiment. You came into my house, ate my food, listened to my secrets, just to see if I was good enough for the billionaire's son. No, it wasn't like that. It was exactly like that, she shouted. Tears welled up in her eyes. I told you I hated people wearing masks. I told you I was lonely because everyone lies to me. And you were the biggest lie of all. Madam Senator, my father interrupted, trying to regain control. My son is clearly going through a rebellious phase. I apologize. We can discuss the refinery contract and… Get out, Amara said. She pointed to the door. Excuse me, my father blinked. No one ever told Chief Adelek to get out. Get out of my house, Amara screamed. All of you, take your money, take your contracts, and take your fake plumber son with you. The security guards stepped forward, hands on their holsters. My father looked insulted. He turned on his heel. Come, Dayo, we are leaving. This woman is too emotional for business. I looked at Amara. She wouldn't meet my eyes. She was looking at the floor, wiping tears from her face. I wanted to run to her, but I knew she wouldn't listen, not now. I walked out of the mansion, sandwiched between my angry parents. The heavy door slammed shut behind us. It sounded like a prison cell closing. We sat in the back of my father's quiet, expensive car. The silence was thick. You have disgraced this family, my father hissed. Dressing like a servant, do you know what the tabloids will do if they find out? I don't care about the tabloids, I said quietly. I love her. Love, my mother scoffed. You don't know her. She is a politician. She is tough. She is real, I said. She helped me when I was face down in the dirt. She fed me when she thought I had nothing. Do you know how rare that is? Tola laughed at me. Chidinma rejected me. Amara, she treated me like a human being. My father looked out the window at the passing streets of Lagos. He didn't speak for a long time. And now you have lost her, he said finally, because you played games with a woman's heart. You cannot build a house on a fake foundation, Dayo. You, of all people, should know that. His words hit me harder than any slap. He was right. I was a plumber who built his own house on sand. If you believe that trust is the most expensive thing in the world, tap the like button. 2 weeks passed. I didn't go back to London. I stayed in my small apartment on the mainland. I didn't wear the suit. I didn't wear the plumber outfit. I just wore jeans and a t-shirt. I was miserable. I missed her voice. I missed the way she looked at me when I fixed the washing machine. I tried to call. She blocked my number. I sent flowers. They were returned. I had to do something, but I couldn't use money. Money was the problem. Then I remembered what she said about the Bucker, the local food joint, the place where real people ate. I wrote a letter, not a text, a handwritten letter on simple paper. Amara, I am not the plumber, and I am not the billionaire. I am just Dayo, the man who sat at your table and ate pounded yam. You said people don't ask if you are happy. I am asking now. I will be at Mama Nkechi's Bucker in Surula tonight at 7 p.m. It is loud. It is hot. It is real. If you can forgive a fool, meet me there. I gave the letter to her gateman. I didn't wait for an answer. At 6:50 p.m., I was sitting on a plastic chair at Mama Nkechi. The air smelled of spicy pepper soup and exhaust fumes. The generator was loud. People were shouting about football. It was 7:00 p.m. She wasn't there. 7:15 p.m. The chair next to me was empty. 7:30 p.m. I lost hope. She wasn't coming. I had hurt her too deeply. I signaled Mama Nkechi to bring the bill. I stood up, feeling a heavy weight in my chest. You are leaving before the food comes. I froze. I turned around. Amara was standing there. She wasn't wearing her senator robes. She wasn't wearing a fancy wig. She wore a simple Ankara dress and sandals. She had tied her hair back. She looked younger. She looked free. You came, I breathed. I almost didn't, she admitted. She didn't smile. She looked serious. My advisors told me it was a security risk. My friends told me you were a clown. Why did you come? Because you were right, she said, stepping over a puddle of water to reach me. I need real, and this. She looked around the noisy, crowded canteen. This is very real. I pulled out the plastic chair for her. She sat down. I am sorry, I said, sitting across from her. I will never lie to you again. No more masks. Good, she said, because if you lie to me again, I won't kick you out. I will have you arrested. She cracked a small smile. I laughed. It was a nervous laugh, but it felt good. Deal. So, she said, leaning her elbows on the sticky plastic table. Dayo Adelek, who are you really? What do you actually do? I am an engineer, I said. I have a degree. I want to build low-cost housing for people in places like this. I want to use my father's money to fix things that are actually broken. Her eyes lit up. Now that, she said, is a contract I would sign. We ordered a mala and uedu. We ate with our hands. We talked for hours. We didn't talk about politics or oil prices. We talked about our childhoods. We talked about our fears. For the first time, I wasn't the rich boy or the poor servant. I was just Dayo, and she was just Amara. Suddenly, a flash of light blinded us. I looked up. A young man with a phone was taking a picture of us. Senator Oak, he shouted, is this your new boyfriend? Why are you eating in a bucker? The secret was out. Tomorrow, it would be on every blog in Nigeria. Billionaire son and senator eating a mala. I looked at Amara, panicked. We should go. The paparazzi will be here soon. Amara looked at the boy with the phone. Then she looked at me. She reached across the table and took my hand. She held it tight, right there in front of the camera. "Let them take the picture," she said calmly. "Are you sure?" I asked. "It will be a scandal, the rich girl and the rich boy acting poor." "Let them talk," she smiled. "Let them see that love doesn't care about the location. Let them see that we are happy." She turned to the boy with the camera. "Make sure you get his good side," she called out. "He is handsome." The boy snapped another photo. I smiled. I squeezed her hand. My father was wrong. I hadn't built my house on sand. I had built it on the truth. It took a lie to get here, but it took love to stay. I looked at Amara. The noise of the market faded away. "I love you," I said. "I know," she replied, dipping a piece of meat into the spicy sauce. "Now eat your food before it gets cold. We have a lot of work to do tomorrow." We finished our meal as the flashes of cameras started to pop around us like fireworks. I wasn't afraid anymore. I had found my treasure, and this time I didn't need a map or a disguise to keep it. I had found the only thing money couldn't buy. If this story touched your heart, please follow for more.